What up, peeps? It's Dead Body Man. I'm here to show you all these lag issues and all these issues they have going on with the game a day before the Royal Rumble tier drops. And I know they haven't said nothing yet, but if you play this game as long as I have, you'll know that they're not saying nothing, but the game's probably going to be down for maintenance all day tomorrow. So everybody's going to be so excited for the new tier tomorrow. And they're probably going to shut down the game, add the new cards, and chances are nobody will even be getting on, not tomorrow, but the day after. So, you know, we're all excited about the new tier coming out tomorrow, but what's the difference? We won't even be able to play the game for a couple days. And right now, I'm stuck on waiting on network, and just so you could see, I've got plenty of bars on my internet, so that's not the issue. But of course, they'll always tell you that it's your problem. It's not theirs. Nothing they're doing wrong. And right now, I had a couple issues that I actually sent in to them to let them know what was going on with their game, because they had to know that when you hit the autofill button, there's two autofill buttons. And right now, the autofill all decks is on the left. And then the one on the right just says autofill. So that way, whatever deck you're on, when you hit autofill, it'll just autofill that one deck. But over the weekend, they did 3 updates. And not once was the issue fixed. And I've pointed out so many problems this season since the Season 6 dropped. And they just keep bouncing me back and forth. And when I say they, I'm talking about Cat Daddy. I always write into them, let them know about the bugs, the issues, all the problems that the game's having. And Cat Daddy, when I tell them there's a problem, they'll say, get in contact with 2K. And then when I contact 2K, 2K says get in contact with Cat Daddy. So, I mean, basically it's just telling me that neither one of them have any idea what's going on inside the game. They're just making a game, but nobody knows anything about the game mechanics. Nobody knows anything about the issues that are going on, the lagging, and just the miscellaneous things that I try to point out to them. My support cards. I have 4 support cards right now. One's a Vanguard, 2 are Primal, and one's a Nightmare. So how come in my top 8 cards I have my Vanguard support card, and instead of one of my Primal support cards being the second one, the Nightmare card, which is definitely way weaker than my 2 Primal cards, is stuck in my, in my top 8 cards. And I know from past experience the only way to fix that is to get rid of that Nightmare card. I'm either going to have to use it in the fusion chamber, or I'm just going to have to hit train on one of my cards and just use that Nightmare support card. That way I don't have it. That way it can't accidentally put it in my top 8 cards. But I just wanted to show you guys all the waiting on network errors. And I have 3 bars of internet, so there's really no excuse. I even pointed out to them that my opponents, my real opponents, I'm not talking about the Money in the Bank AI opponents. I'm talking about real opponents in PvP. They had like 55,000 and 60,000 special abilities. So, of course, I take a screenshot and I write into Cat Daddy and I ask them, how do my opponents have 60,000 and I only have 30,000? What am I doing wrong? They told me it was my fault, said I wasn't leveling my cards properly, and they were telling me this for literally like a week and a half, that it was my fault. And they were going to reset my pro to 2 singles so I could level them up properly. But before they did that, I made sure to take a screenshot of both my cards, the front and the back of my cards, send it in to them, show them that not only was the level maxed at 100, but the stats were also maxed at 100 on both cards. There's nothing else you could do to the card. So when you pro it and you level it up, it should be the same level as everybody else's cards. There's no reason why your opponent should have 30,000 more than you. And of course they don't understand, they don't know what's wrong, and it just got to the point where I was like so frustrated, and I just said, you know what, forget it, I'm tired of asking you guys. But now I'm to the point where I was getting so frustrated that of course I had to write into them. I keep getting stuck with the waiting on network. I'm trying to level up cards, and I just keep getting stuck on this waiting on network. My other issue was when I was first starting this video talking about the autofill button. When you go to edit deck and you see the two autofill buttons at the bottom, the one on the right that just says autofill doesn't have all decks in parentheses. That should only be autofilling the deck that you're on, but that's not the case after they did the 3 updates over the weekend. When you hit it, it will autofill all your decks. So if you had cards that you were leveling up in Wild, now you got to manually put them all back in. And same thing with like in your PvP. If you like manually, like me, put in all beast cards with one card that you want to level in the Royal Rumble PvP, whether it's men or women, yeah, now I have to keep manually putting them back in, because when I hit the autofill, it autofills all my decks. Well, I didn't expect that to happen, so of course I write into them and they just keep bouncing me around. They don't know the answer, and of course their response is, it's not our fault, it's yours. You need to clear your cache, uninstall the game, restart your phone. And I told them, I'm not doing any of those things because it's not a problem on my end. My whole entire team will tell you. All of them said the same thing. When you hit the... Here, I'll go to deck editor right now, and if you look at the bottom, you'll see autofill all decks, and then on the right, of course, it's grayed out because I'm on my top 8 cards, but if I go to Wild, it'll be lit up. But yeah, if I hit that autofill on the right, it will fill every single one of my decks up with my top cards. I don't want that. I just wanted the one deck that I'm on to be filled so I could see what my top cards were. Under top 8 cards, you'll see that my support cards, they got this nightmare card. And if you added up these numbers, they don't even come close to my support cards. I'll show you my... Well, I'll just hit all. Okay, well, let's go real quick. Okay, so 37,665 on 2 stats. 2 stats for one card. Okay? What about the 29,865 to the entire deck? Obviously, an entire deck is a lot stronger than a single card. But apparently the game doesn't think so. It thinks that this is an awesome card and this card's way better. So the only solution to fix that problem is for me to train a card up. And just because out of the frustration, I'm just going to go to train. I'm trying to finish up this round of Rousey anyways. So I'm going to go to train, go to support. I'll pick the Nightmare card. I'm going to unlock her because apparently she's in 2 decks. She's in my Last Man Standing deck as well. I don't want her in my Last Man Standing deck. So I'll just unlock her. If it'll let me. Let's try again. See, just a bunch of lags and glitches and stuff. I'm just trying to unlock this card so I can click on her, so I can train my Ronda Rousey with this card that I don't want in my 2 decks. There, it finally unlocked. So I select her, get rid of her, and as soon as I get rid of her, I'll go back to my top 8 cards, and you'll notice, obviously, she can't be there anymore because I got rid of her. So, let's see, we're going to go back now. Go to deck editor, top 8 cards. Oh, wow, look at that. There she is. So there's my primal. Now my primal's in my top 8. Much better. It's just such a hassle, because I understand that the top 8 you can't control, but the game should be smart enough to know that a higher tiered, card should be in your top 8, not the lowest one. I mean, that just doesn't make sense. And for them to tell me that it's my problem, that I need to clear the cache and uninstall the game and restart my phone, that's a joke. And, it's like they don't even want to take any consideration for it's like none of them play their own game. They have no idea what's going on with their own game. You'll see. I'll scroll up a little bit. They told me it's my problem, not theirs. They told me to clear my cache, restart my phone. Of course, I went off on them. So I told my teammates, I'm going to make a video and I'm going to put them on blast for all these issues that are going on right now. Between the autofill button that apparently autofill all decks, it speaks for itself. Of course, when you click it, it's going to fill all decks. But the one on the right is only supposed to fill the deck that you're on. And I tried to point that out to them, and they said it's my problem. My whole entire team will tell you that if any of them hit the autofill button on the right, it does refill all their decks. So you're saying that everybody that plays this game should clear their cache, uninstall the game, and restart their phone? That's just a bunch of BS, and I know for a simple fact that I've been playing this game for 5.5 years, and I've done the clear cache and restart phone. It has never solved the problem whatsoever. Just over time, eventually, I guess enough people complain, they finally get the hang of, oh, hey, maybe we should fix that they've been talking about. So now, of course, I took care of the issue with my top 8 cards. You know, now I got the cards that I want in there. You know, even if I didn't want that power and speed and I wanted my other one, then I'd have to get rid of her too. So until I get another Vanguard support card, I'm just going to leave my support cards alone. I'll just keep the 3 that I have. But, I mean, I can't pick and choose if the toughness and charisma goes in the top 8 or the power and speed, unless I get rid of one or the other. Of course, I'm going to keep the Kurt Angle Vanguard. I'd love to have another Vanguard support card. But, you know, right now, I'll just let it stay with what it is. It says that this is stronger than this one. But, I mean, to be honest, there's really no right or wrong card. You just can't control that. It's not unless you get rid of one of those 3. And that's how I've been fixing it for, like the past 3 years or so. I can't really think of anything else right now that I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to get that off my chest because Cat Daddy is really starting to irritate me. And if none of you know how to complain to them, you just click on the little cogwheel up here in the top left corner. When you click on the cogwheel, you'll notice, like, in the center, you'll see feedback right here. So you just hit feedback, and then you have all these options. Do you want to talk about a card issue, which I've clicked on before when it came to my opponent's special ability being at 60,000 when mine are only at 30,000. So, of course, I clicked on card issues and said, with screenshots, why is this card stronger than mine? What am I doing wrong? And, of course, they're telling me I didn't level them properly, which is BS. Then they wanted to tell me that it was a visual glitch. And when it comes to math, I am really good at math. And when I play against real people and it says they have 60,000 special ability and their special ability goes off, I can count from what they originally had and when their ability goes off. They get 60,000 on 2 stats. I don't. I only get 30,000 on my 2 stats. So you can't tell me it's a visual glitch. Because a visual glitch would mean that I'm seeing 60,000, but they're not really getting 60,000. But that's not true. I see 60,000, they're getting 60,000. It's not a visual glitch. They don't know why it does that. They said it has something to do with the game mechanics, but if you ask them, well, who's in charge of game mechanics, they're going to tell you, I don't know. I've never had a purchase issue. General suggestions is usually what you would click on if you come up with an idea that's not in the game that you think would be a good idea. You can click on that and throw this suggestion out there, but I'm going to tell you right now, chances are it's going to fall on deaf ears. Nobody's going to consider it, and it's just going to get thrown at the bottom. Nobody will ever see it. If you're playing an event, you can click on event issues and let them know, like, hey, my bouts aren't restarting in Team Road to Glory or Ring Domination or whatever. If it's just an event in particular, hey, I just finished a match and it freezes up. I have to restart my phone. I'm losing my bouts and I'm not getting the points. They'll look into it. And then the one I wanted to talk about last was reporting a bug. That's the one I've been clicking on a lot lately. I keep clicking on it. I tell them what the issue is, and then they respond immediately with, you're doing something wrong. It's your fault. You need to clear your cache. You need to uninstall the game, reinstall the game, restart your phone. Trust me. when it comes to the player, it's never your problem. It's always the game's problem. They just don't want to. They just don't want to like admit that they're wrong, and it's really irritating. But I hope that some of you guys see this and experience. I don't want you guys to experience the same thing as me, but I just want you guys to see that I'm not crazy, that this is a bunch of BS, and that they need to fix their game, especially when a new tier's coming out tomorrow, and they haven't even told anybody that the game's going to be down all day tomorrow for maintenance. And for me, it'll probably be around noon that'll go down for maintenance, and they'll be like, oh, it'll be back up in a few hours. Trust me, it won't be back up for like 9 to 12 hours. And it gets really frustrating when you got some free time and all you want to do is play this game and you can't because it's down and they don't know when it's going to be back up and running, and all they can say to you is, oh, please be patient. It'll be up soon. It'll be up soon. No, it won't. You just come back the next day and it'll be ready. Other than that, good luck in the new tier. I hope everybody gets some good cards in the Royal Rumble tier, and I hope Drew McIntyre wins the Royal Rumble this